Welcome to Ask Us Anything, and thank you for joining us this evening.
And it's Sunday night, and we are delighted to have so many with you to ask us anything about the RV lifestyle. We're coming to you tonight from Florida, where it was 73 degrees today, but we have an ocean breeze, so it's a little cooler along the Gulf Coast, South Coast, and the Florida Panhandle than it is inland. I think they were up in the 80s inland a little
Oh,
bit.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we were.
It was 77 in Tennessee
You're
today.
kidding.
Yeah.
We were in major fog, getting big waves. It was pretty.
It reminded me of California, didn't it?
Mhm.
Hey, we have some announcements about an announcement. Everybody's been asking us, when's our summer gathering? Well, we got the dates for it. Ready? Our summer meetup will be June 19th through the 22nd. June 19th through the 22nd. So mark that on your calendar. Now, we can't give you all of the details yet because we still have a couple of little things to work out and to get our order page up and all of that stuff. But next Sunday, for everybody here, we will announce all the details of our summer our summer meetup, and you'll have an opportunity to sign up. I guess we can give you a vague idea where it is.
That sounds fair. Northern Michigan.
Yes. So, one of our favorite places. And this is going to be an awesome one.
Are you going to tell them Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula?
No, I'm just going to say Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
Yep. And we're really excited about this. So we'll have details for you next week, but the save the dates are June 19th through the 22nd. And you may want to spend a few days before and a few days after, because we can get you some discounts on some of the things you can do afterwards as well. We'll tell you all about it next week. And for our supporters, those of you who are our Facebook supporters or our YouTube supporters, you get like 24 hours heads up notice on it. So we'll let you know in a special announcement probably towards the end of the week. So stay tuned. You know, the supporters channels that you watch, and we'll let you know when.
Like how many sites are available?
Well, this is our summer meetup, and we have 30 sites. And that maybe we can do one or two more, but that's about it. And so that's like 60 people. And we try to keep all of our summer ones around that number because that way we get a chance to meet everybody and hang out with everybody a little bit. And when you get over 60 people, it's just pretty hard for us to spend quality time with folks. And even if it's 60 people, it gets, you know, it's hard. And we like to, you know, put faces with names and you know, get up close and personal with you all.
We're going to work hard on that this time.
Yes, we are.
Not being too distracted.
We'll be knocking on your doors.
Things.
Yep. So it's going to be fun. And I can't wait to give you all the details. So that's coming up. All right. Enough of that. Let's get to the Ask Us Anything questions on this Sunday night. Here's one from our friend Ed Richards, who's always the first one on.
Greetings from Baton Rouge. I am in the market for a compact single-serve K-Cup coffee maker. Recommendations?
Get
a drink.
It's called the K-Cup Mini or the Mini K-Cup. Do a search on it, Ed, and you should be able to find it. It's a single cup server. It comes in different colors, you know, and they have a funky aqua, and they have a pink, and they have, you know, a silver or a gray, but it's the Mini K-Cup, and you can do a search for it. I had one of those, and I changed mine, even though Jennifer doesn't drink coffee. I use one step up, and it's got a little water receptacle, and I can actually put enough water in for 2 cups. And that way I don't have to fill it up every time, but any of those work. And the nice thing about K-Cups is you can also get one of those empty cups, basically, and you can pour your own coffee. You can grind your own beans and put that in and run that through them as well. So enjoy, but that's the one we had. If you want a single one, it's the Mini Keurig, I think it is. So good luck with you, Ed. Thanks for being there tonight. Barber Dean has a question. He says, have you ever considered an Airstream travel trailer? I appreciate the initial cost of ownership is expensive. Pretty much every Airstream now is over $100,000. But he notes that they have great resale value as well as industry-leading build quality. Yeah, I think that's generally true, Barbara. We love Airstream, and Jennifer has said many times as we've done our tours of all the big RV shows, we always go through the Airstreams, and she says,
And I always want one.
yeah. So we have never had one, but I think we would make great Airstream owners someday. So that may be on our list before we turn our travel shoes in for a while. I think an Airstream would be a lot of fun. We do really like them. They're beautiful rigs. They really are. Have been the standard for years. Mac 4 exclamation mark.
In Mississippi during this weather event, and wonder what's the best way to be notified or track weather locally when you don't know the area. That's a very good question.
Two things we recommend. One, every single person should have a weather radar, an emergency weather radio, an emergency weather radio. We use one from Midland. I believe it's on our Amazon page. If you go to Amazon.com, influencers, RV lifestyle, you can find it. It's a little radio. It's actually an emergency radio. You can crank it up if you don't have battery power, if you run out of battery power. But we really recommend having, and there's our link right there. We really recommend having an emergency weather radar radio, which will give you notices. And
also, you don't have to rely upon batteries because you can crank it up.
You can crank it up, right? If it's a long-term event and you use up all your batteries. But an emergency weather radio will give you an alert when there's a warning in your area. Short of that, we recommend that everybody also have on their smartphone at least one or two weather apps. And all of them let you enable location notifications so they know where you are. And they in turn will also send you alerts when there is severe weather forecast in the area you happen to be in. We recommend those. We recommend a good weather radar app. And if you just search apps, APPS on our RV Lifestyle blog, you'll see lots of links to different weather apps that we have used and recommend. The thing is, you want a weather radar so you can actually see now. The technology is so good, you can see where that storm is, and you can watch it and progress and give you an idea how much time you have to take shelter or to drive out of an area. I'm glad you made it. It was a terrible storm, just a horrible storm. And our hearts off to those people in northern Mississippi. It's one of our favorite areas. We fell in love with Tupelo and the communities around it when we toured the Natchez Trace a couple of years ago. Good question. Robin Ostermeyer.
Can I use vinegar mixed with water in a spray bottle to clean my toilet and sinks in my RV without hurting anything like rubber, gaskets, or etc.?
Yeah, just not too much, right? What do you use?
I don't use vinegar.
Yeah, I don't like the smell of vinegar.
No, I don't, because of the rubber gaskets and everything.
What do you use?
I use a cleaner that they recommend to clean the toilet bowls with.
Yeah, so look in your manual of your RV and see what they suggest. I mean, good old soap and water.
It's probably just fine because vinegar is just like, such a.
I don't think vinegar would hurt it at all because they.
But I'm always paranoid about the rubber gaskets and all these little things in there.
Jennifer always looks at in the manual to see what they recommend for cleaning products, and
so check because I don't know what you have, what your manufacturer suggests.
Yep. So good luck. Good question, Robin. Jeffrey Cosmos, Panama City Beach.
You're our neighbor.
Just down the coast. We're literally looking at the Gulf out that window right now. Kind of an angry Gulf. It's gray and not such a pretty night, even though the temperature is warm. So I'm not going to show you what it's like.
It's going to be like this, I guess, tomorrow too.
Johnny Lightning up in Michigan.
Hi, everyone. It's getting to be springtime here in the middle of the mitten.
I saw that in the mid-50s in some places of Michigan.
And today. You had sunshine today.
Yes.
Whereas we had fog.
Well, we had sunshine on the other side of the fog up above it.
True.
Yeah, it was. Very Cornelius.
Did your new LTV come with a soft start on the AC unit?
No, it does not have one. You know what? Or does it? I don't think it does. We haven't had to use AC yet, but I do not think it does come with one. But at the back of my mind, Jerry, there is this recollection somewhere that said, hey, it now has soft start. So I would have to check and see. We find that soft start is a really nice thing to have, but I didn't use it that much. I don't really run the AC. When we boondock, we tend to be in fairly cooler climates, and I haven't had to run the AC on the current unit we have at all, because we just got it in September. So I'll let you know when I find it out. But in the back of my mind, I seem to recall that they do have it as standard now on the ACs. I may be wrong, but I'll have to check that out for you. And do I recommend a soft start? If you do a lot of mooch docking and boondocking, it's a good thing to have, because you can start that without that huge power spike. And that's my recommendation. We haven't needed it because we don't use AC that much. John Ray,
What's the biggest RV you ever had?
our 32.5 foot Arcadia fifth wheel, which we still have. It's on our property in Tennessee. We hope to visit that in just a week or so.
About a week?
10 days. We'll be up there for a few days. 32.5 feet. And then we tow it with a 21-foot long F250. So we're almost the size of a semi on the road when we're towing. Not quite, but almost. Feels like it. Drives great. Jack Partain.
Excellent piece on Betsy Johnson, a real crusader. 2 years ago, we met her briefly at an overview on the Blue Ridge Parkway, whereby she imparted her message.
Is talking about an interview that we had this past week on our RV podcast. Betsy is a widow. Her husband, Rick, dropped dead just after pulling into a campsite after they had been on the road a few days and on an RV trip. And the cause was a blood clot, which in turn was caused by sitting too long and not getting out and moving along. And so Betsy's kind of made that her crusade to tell RVers, stop, take breaks, get out, walk around, exercise. Don't stay seated in one position for hours at a time. Don't just say, oh, another 100 miles, I can plow on through. Get out, walk around. And just a great interview. If you haven't heard that, it should affect the way you travel in your RV. So listen to that. It's on our RV Lifestyle podcast page, rvlifestyle.com. Look under podcasts. Cheryl Nelson.
If I'm in a permanent site and I feel like I have come a little unlevel, do I have to bring all my slides into auto level, or can they stay out when I auto level?
For the best leveling, bring them in. I mean, it's not going to take you much. In our case, maybe we bring up a carpet that we had put down so it doesn't get caught into there. But bring them in and then just re-level. Just re-level. It doesn't take long. You already are unhitched, all that stuff. I would bring them in. Now, there are a lot of people who don't. A lot of people who will go on and instead they'll do it manually. They'll see where they need to come up a little bit. If you're not really experienced in adjusting it manually, you can get yourself messed up real quick that way. So I would use the auto level feature on your system, and I would bring the slides in. You should always auto level with the slides in, not out. And that's our best advice. Again, other people do it and then they get away with it, but that's not the recommendation of the experts, and that's not what we would recommend either. Chris Mondo Biondo, $4.99, our RV super chat on YouTube. Thank you, Amy and Chris out in Kansas, in Dorothy's land. Thank you, guys. Hope to see you guys at our summer gathering this year. Steve Egbert, and where's Steve?
From Tulare, California. Too bad summer meetups are so far away.
Well, they are from California, but if we had one in California, all these people would be saying, too bad it's too far away. But we're working on our fall meetup, so maybe you can make that one, Steve, and we'll let you know the details of that. We hope to figure that out in the next month as well. So we'll announce the summer one next week, and we'll hope to get the fall one done a little bit later on. But we'd love to meet you at one of our gatherings. That's why we do them. It's so fun to actually get to sit down face to face around a campfire with y'all. William Strickland.
As a newbie, one thing that is confusing when looking to buy a new RV is the OCCC. What is the OCCC in your Unity, and how do you stay within that? Thanks.
I don't know what it is without pulling out my spec sheet on it. once you find what the OCC is, you usually have several hundred pounds uh, in addition to a couple hundred, 300 pounds in addition to the drivers and the dog. I mean, we've got each other and the dog, and then whatever gear we bring. So always we recommend you have it weighed. You go to one of the cat scales and weigh your RV with a little bit of water in the freshwater tank and all the gear that you bring and your two passengers and your dog, whatever, or two dogs or whatever you have, and then see how you stack up to the OCC. That's the maximum capacity of your RV, and it's always written. If you're in a motorhome or even in a fifth wheel, it's always written on a sticker that's applied to the somewhere on the RV, and just get it weighed. I don't know what it is now in our Unity, but we usually have a couple hundred extra pounds that we could go if we had to. We've learned over 11 years now of doing this that you really don't have to bring a lot of stuff with you. We always bring too much.
We always bring too much.
I'm sure we still bring too much,
we
but
do.
but much less than when we first started.
Right.
So check the stats, go get your thing weighed, and then you'll eventually know when you're getting closer, and it all comes through experience. So don't sweat the details too much, but you don't have to bring everything either. Ruchin 3.
Do you have a preference for an ice machine?
We don't have one. Don't have one, and that's one of those things that we figure we don't need. We just add weight to the RV, so we do not have an ice machine. We do have one on our refrigerators at our sticks and bricks home, but not in our RVs. So, and I don't know if I'd recommend one. I mean, if you have a really big RV and you got room.
If you have some sort of drink, some sort of
favorite drink where you need ice, it would be fun.
Then that's a necessity to you.
Yeah. So, but it's not for us. So I don't have one I can recommend to you. Norm.
It was 74 degrees and 90% humidity in Sarasota this morning at sunrise. Hit 90 degrees today. Time to go back to Canada. I'd rather be in a snowbank than this heat.
That's what our dog Bo says, and my wife Jen says. Yeah.
I don't mind the snow that much. Blue sky and
90
snow
degrees and humid is a bit much.
Yeah.
And Norm, I wonder if you're noticing the red tide down there. I know they've noticed it from Naples, between Naples and Sarasota. So I wonder if that's showing up. Normally, that's something you don't see until late summer.
Yeah.
But we've been hearing from southwestern Florida that there's been a lot of red tide. So I don't know how accurate those reports are, but you might comment back later on if you've had that down there. Tom Romanowski.
Excluding the usual snowbird destinations, Texas, Florida, Arizona, California, what are some of the lesser used locations to consider?
Well, of course, they're picking those states because it's warm. So Mississippi, the Mississippi coast, the Alabama coast, both of those are places that have pretty nice climates. They get a little cool in the summer. Texas is in the winters. Texas is warmer. The Florida Panhandle, the Alabama and the Mississippi coast, the temperatures in the day in January are probably in the 50s. Some days there's days in the 60s, some days even in the 70s for a day, but generally in the 50s. And it gets cold at night. Not enough that you have to winterize, but cool in the 40s, in the low 30s. Some people swear by South Carolina, the Georgia coast. But again, those are all areas that are a little cooler than South Texas or the southern part of Florida. So hopefully that'll help you. But don't neglect Mississippi and Alabama. They've got beautiful Gulf of Mexico beaches and really nice places to stay down there. Despina Reyes.
Should a couple who knows nothing about the operation of appliances or technical equipment both enroll in RV owners maintenance and repair training, or one attend and teach the other?
I think what I would recommend, and I know Despina, you wrote us an email this week about one of the gatherings we were thinking about doing would have been at the RV Training Association Academy in Texas, but it would have cost like $1,000 a person to go through that week-long course, and you get a certification for it. But we just felt that was a little bit too much to throw out to the community, that we probably couldn't get enough people to make it worthwhile for them. So what we do recommend, though, is that you both you buy their little online training course on maintenance, and we have a link on our partners page, and both of you just apply yourselves to studying that, so that you are not flummoxed by maintenance and RV repair questions. Just as a hint of what's coming up on our podcast, this Wednesday we will talk with Chris Doherty, who is a very well-respected RV industry expert. We're going to talk with him on maintenance and how to make sure your RV is ready for dewinterization. And next week, we're going to talk with Mike Sokol. We're going to talk about the electrical system, and you'll learn a lot in the podcast from that. We're adding a new segment to the podcast this week from Brenda, the Queen Bee of RV. Brenda was a guest on the podcast a few weeks ago, and we've asked her to do a regular segment on how average people can care for their RV and checklists that you should follow. She'll be making her debut as a regular on our podcast this coming Wednesday. So lots of places you can get free education and learning. Learn all you can by the University of YouTube, and this online course that we recommended on our partners page there is a great place too. That's what I would recommend you start with, and you both can go through that at your own pace, and I think you'd find it enjoyable. Then we can call you for advice when ours doesn't work. Big O Maxwell.
Okay, what Brooklyn mattress are you using?
We have the Aurora. We actually like that so much. The Brooklyn bedding RV mattress called Aurora. We have that in our fifth wheel, and we like it so much that we just bought the same mattress for our house, our new Sticks and Bricks house, where we're still kind of in the process of moving into that. And it's a great mattress. We really like it. The Aurora is the one we have, and it's a medium softness. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. Mary Sage.
Diesel versus gas to tow a fifth wheel.
Diesel. You want the torque, and that comes with diesel. And diesel engines are just so much, they just are so much more rugged than a gas engine. You gotta, and you can sip the gas from the big boy pumps, with the big trucks, at Love's or someplace. That's where we get our diesel. But for towing, you can't beat a diesel. Costs a little bit more. It's a diesel motor, but diesel engines go 250, 300,000 miles. So diesel, get a diesel, Mary. Deborah Ann.
I just spent 10 nights at St. George State Park. I went to fill my water tank and almost stepped on a rattlesnake. Ooh. Any tips on keeping snakes out of your sight? I was several inches from stepping on it.
You had to ask that. Jennifer's going to read that and is not going to be happy about it. Well, I wonder what time you went. Snakes are most active in the morning and at night. Night in particular, if the weather's warm. Always carry a light when you go outside at night. Always
don't leave your shoes
things
outside by the door.
Yeah, don't leave shoes. Snakes love to crawl in shoes.
And
they
spiders
really do.
and scorpions.
Scorpions. And keep it clean. Keep it as clean. Some snakes hate mothballs, but
if you're in a state park,
you shouldn't be doing that, and it's gonna stink. Most of the time, if you don't have any grass or vegetation, the snakes will stay away. So work on that. Keep it clean, and
what do you say?
Always use the flashlight. And if you are in an area that has snakes, look around and make sure that
stomp your feet.
Stomp your feet. Clap your hands. Send somebody else out first.
Yeah, send you.
I hate snakes too. So, but keep your area clean, and don't leave your shoes outside your door or anything that can crawl in. Sometimes they'll crawl underneath your RV as well if it's really hot to get shaded. So take a look. Deborah Beck.
Thank you for doing the interview with the RV inspector. It saved me with the new Cedar Creek fifth wheel.
That was
Ooh.
Brenda, the Queen Bee, and Queen Bee RV. And we will have Brenda, as I say, is going to be a regular on our podcast, doing a RV tips segment for us every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday. So thank you, Deborah, for noticing that. Jerry Cornelius.
What would you suggest as an RV club to join?
What's your favorite one?
FMCA.
Yeah, I would definitely do the FMCA. We do have posts. There's a guide right there that Chris just put up on the site, but particularly in light of the conversation we had with Betsy on the podcast this week about what happens if the worst happens. In her case, her husband died. Her membership in the FMCA, they made sure she and her dog flew back to their hometown. They provided somebody to drive their RV and their tow vehicle back home. I mean, what peace of mind that gave her in that horrible time of need. That is one of the best benefits that you can find of any club. The FMCA, I've heard so many people who've actually used that service, and they've all said how awesome the service is. The FMCA has 2 big rallies a year that are national rallies that are phenomenal rallies to learn things, to hang out, to socialize. They just did one. I think they had 2,000 rigs there, or 2,000 people in Perry, Georgia. Their next one's coming up in the summer in Tucson. I think they are this year. I may be wrong, but I think it's Tucson. It's $50 a year. And you get so many other perks on it. You get discounts on tires, get a great magazine. Robin Gould, we used to write for the magazine regularly. So we have a real soft spot in our heart for FMCA. I think it's the best organization. It's run by real RVers. Their board of directors are real people who really use the RVers. They're not a corporate organization. The second club that we really like is the Escapees. And it's all in that link that Chris shared. It's over in the chat window. We did a story on all different RV clubs, and the Escapees is a great organization as well. So join a club. Those clubs are a great way to really enhance your RV lifestyle experience. Noah Pickering.
Do you run generators for air conditioning occasionally?
We do. And if it's really hot, we will run it on for a while and cool the place down. And then we'll use fans and open windows to keep the air circulating after dark. We'll also use it, if we are at like a rest area and we want to take a break for an hour. And that's one of the nice things about traveling an RV. You can take a nap in your RV.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. That's the best.
So we'll fire up the AC and use that.
Or if we want to run into a store and it's too hot to leave our dog, Bo, in the RV,
Y'all
we'll
want
turn
to
on
see?
the generator.
Do y'all want to see Bo tonight?
There's
Bo
Mr.
just came
Bo.
in.
Bo
He
just-
is. Where's Bo? There's Bo.
Yeah.
Say hi, Bo.
Oh, everybody, how are you? Glad to see you all. Nice to be with you tonight.
There's Bo. He hears us talking to you guys, and he knows we're
He
doing
knows
so-
he's
so-
missing out on something.
He knows he's missing a
He's a
camera opportunity.
social
So
creature.
yes, we do use the generator, and that's a great feature to have. Ralph Price.
I did the home RV maintenance education program. Awesome and very helpful. Learned a lot of great maintenance tips and tricks.
It's a great value. And again, you can find it on our RV Lifestyle partners page, rvlifestyle.com/partners. And you can learn about it. It's a great investment. There's the link right there. Follow that and just scroll down. All those partners, by the way, give you discounts and you get special perks for checking them out. And we really love that maintenance course. And it really is, as he said, it really helps. So check it all out. Also want to remind you, all the products and the things that we talk about that we personally use, that we can recommend, we have put on our Amazon page. And if you just go to amazon.com, shop RV Lifestyle, you'll see it. We try and keep that updated all the time. We have a big post tomorrow, for example, on microwaves for an RV. I know that might be a boring subject to you, but you're going to need one eventually. And so we will list many of the microwaves that we recommend and the products that we can use and that we're comfortable in suggesting to you. You can find them right there. So it's good. All right. I think we'll take a couple more and we're going to take a break. William Strickland.
I saw your video on adding automatic AU to levelers on your Wonder LTV. I'm looking at that as well as wanted to know if you had any issues with clearance. Yes,
We did.
we had issues with clearance. We were the first to put those
Now-
levelers on a Wonder.
And I think that Leisure Travel Events was very curious to see what our experience would be. And they said, okay, go for it. And so we literally bought our Wonder and drove it from the dealership that we bought it at down to Indiana and had them put them on. And then we brought it back 2 or 3 times. There just was not enough clearance. They finally found a couple of spots that we got by on, but Leisure was not comfortable with recommending those levelers on the Wonder chassis or on the Ford Transit chassis because there just wasn't enough clearance. We got by fine. We had a couple of incidents with it. One was catastrophic, and that was all operator error. I wasn't paying attention and at a campsite down in Tennessee, and I drove over kind of a log that they had defined. Yeah, kind of. I drove over a log that was defining the campsite.
And then I'm directing, I'm looking at all this, and he's saying, what do I do? What do I do? And I just stood there.
I was stuck on it, tore one of them off, just ripped it sideways.
And he didn't understand when I just looked. I don't know what to tell you. Then I'm going to go see if any of the guys are around. I'm going to get one of the guy campers to try to help you figure this one out, fella.
But we got them fixed and we used it and we continue to use it. But it is not officially recommended by Leisure Travel Vans. And I think based on our experience,
I wouldn't do it.
We found that it really didn't need the transit. If we parked on a fairly level place, it was usually okay. Now we have the Wonder. We don't have the Wonder anymore. We have the Unity, and it does have plenty of clearance, and it does come with factory installed automatic levelers, and we use those all the time. But I would not put them on the Wonder or the Transit based on our experience. So hope that helped you.
Hey, y'all appreciate what we did for you?
Yeah, yeah. It was a rough lesson to learn.
It's kind of a tough one.
Noah Pickering.
Any preferred websites to sell an RV?
Go back and listen to the podcast we did like 2 weeks ago on how to sell your RV. We did a long talk about how our recommendations and how to sell it. And you can find the show notes and stuff. It's at rvlifestyle.com. Just look under the podcast tab, scroll down a couple, and you'll see how to sell an RV. We did a long, extended conversation on the best way to sell your RV and what websites to use. So rather than repeat all of that for a half hour, I'm just going to send you there, Noah. It's a great resource. So just check it out, rvlifestyle.com. Look under the podcast tab up at the top, click that, scroll down, and you'll see how to sell your RV. All right, 2 more questions. This is from Pat Relinsky.
Do you recommend a roadside assistance plan?
We use Good Sam. We bought that years and years ago when we had a road trek, and we've continued to use it ever since. And in fact, I'm just sending my check in to renew it in just a couple of weeks. We have it for our fifth wheel and our on our Unity, and it's just we've been very happy with them. Now we haven't had to use it, so I'll let you know if we have to use it. But the reviews are excellent on Good Sam, and we've been very happy with the service we get from them. They give us a lot of good little advice and tips and stuff from being a member, and you get a discount too, Good Sam, at campgrounds. Lear Val Farms. Last question of the night.
Okay, we just purchased an Arcadia, and we'll be pulling it with a 2017 F-250 diesel. How does yours perform towing yours?
Excellent. We have a 2021 F-250, and the problem is sometimes I don't even know it's back there. That's the thing with the diesel. The diesel really does. And I got called on it by you guys. And I didn't know. We were doing a report as we were driving down the road, and you were shooting it. and you showed the speedometer, and I was 70 miles an hour, which is too fast when you're towing. It kind of had crept up on me. I wasn't paying attention because I was talking, but I didn't know. You don't even know it's back there sometimes. So we've been very happy with the F-250, and I think you will. Your 2017 should do a great job as well.
I don't know about all you, but it's hard when you're pulling the fifth wheel to keep it at 62 to 65.
That's what it's
It is,
recommended.
It is,
Now,
unless you cruise control.
Well,
I mean,
we just had a story yesterday on the blog about cruise control, and there's a lot of controversy on it. People say you shouldn't. It cuts down on your reaction time. We have adaptive cruise control, so it's kind of good. If somebody pulls too close, it slows down. But it's still, we find that towing the fifth wheel is much easier than I thought. Maybe too easy, right?
yeah, you
Wouldn't
do
you say
forget
that?
it's back there.
Yeah, you do. All right. Hey, that's it for this week. This was a lot of good questions from all of you. Thank you to Phyllis Carr, who helped put the questions and screen the questions, and over on Facebook and Twitter and all the other places we were on tonight. And over on YouTube, thank you to Chris Cowley for keeping the links up and helping everybody navigate through all the chat over on the right-hand side of the screen. Check the newsletter tomorrow. Lots of great stuff in the newsletter that you'll get. And on Wednesday, of course, is another edition of the podcast. And as I say, we've got lots of great stuff on de-winterizing your podcast or de-winterizing your RV. Podcast is already de-winterized. We're down.
Yeah,
in
we're
Florida.
kind of
Yeah.
de-winterized.
And should be a great podcast. So tune in for that one as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you being here with us. We just love Sunday nights, and it's kind of like all we need is a campfire, and would be able to even go even longer. Thank you so much.
Happy trails.